I say this though, my hair always looks good. Alright, so what up? Make sure before we do anything, you like and subscribe to the channel. Get all that out the way. And let's jump into it. So, the story I'm gonna be telling today is a story that I'll never forget about. Left an everlasting scar on my leg. I wanna say I was in like the 5th grade. I have a fair amount of siblings, and we would spend a lot of time at my grandmother's house. She lived in these apartments, and there was like these woods behind her apartments, and there was this trail through the woods that we used to always go through, and it would basically wrap around the apartments, come out on the other side, and then there would be like this big field with these hills. You'd go over that, and then there was a bridge that went over this little tiny river. We run across the bridge, and we'd be back at the apartment. Well, this day, things didn't go as planned. We're there, we're hanging out, we're doing our twig fighting, stick fighting, swords, whatever you want to call it, having our fun, doing our thing, and we're like coming out, we're on our way out the woods, and we come out, and as we're going up this hill, we see my mom in the car, and she's like, "Hey, let's go, come on, we're going home," and we all like start running. So we get over the hills, we get over the bridge. My brother gets over the bridge first. What he doesn't, I guess at some point he yelled out the word hole. I didn't hear him say it. So my brother goes over it, my sister goes over it, and then I go over it, and I get caught halfway over it. Left leg falls through the hole. And I had to like raise up, pull my leg out the hole, and keep running. And like as I'm running, I start to lose feeling in my left leg. So like I feel like I'm like hopping at this point. And I grab my leg, my sister looks back and she's like, "Hurry up," and then she just starts screaming. I'm confused, I look down and there's just blood just running down my leg, just going. So I started screaming. So then my brother ran back, carries me to the car. My mom's like, "What took y'all so long?" She looks in the back seat, there's blood all over my leg. She starts screaming. So then we're all just sitting in the car screaming for about a good 45 seconds. She's like, "What do we do? All right, let's just go home. Like, do you need to go to the hospital?" I'm like, "I think I'm good." We get home, she just like douses it in peroxide. I mean, my whole leg was just foaming and bubbling, and it was, honestly, I was scared. I thought I was gonna lose the leg that day. I thought I was gonna die. I have to give him a shower, because they're like, "We gotta wash it out." When I tell you, that was the hardest, most difficult shower I've ever taken in my life. It was terrible. Never want to take a shower like that again. That happens, and I'm just like laying there, and my mom's idea of taking care of it, I think it was like Neosporin, put on the leg or whatever, and then she just covers it in Band-Aids, just like Band-Aid after Band-Aid. We're just like covering it up. And then once it's all taken care of, I sit down, I relax, I go outside. You know, that was the end of that. At this point, I went outside, leg covered in Band-Aids, and I'm like, gather around. I got a story to tell. And that was the day that I cut my leg open. All right, story number 2. There's 2 of them. On the first video, we're giving you a twofer. Story number 2 is about the time I almost died on my birthday. This is a good one. Well, that day started like any other day started. You know, you wake up, you look in the mirror, you tell yourself you look like Idris Elba, and then you keep it moving, you know? But that's not the point. We're gonna skip all that daily stuff. We're gonna jump straight into the night, because that's where it gets good. So, it's my birthday weekend. It's my freshman year of college. I'm lit. In a bit, but we're not gonna say that. But we're getting lit. I hadn't drank all night. We get to the party, it's a house party. We get there, we're turning up, getting lit with the homies, you know, doing some of these one of the homies walks up to me. He's like, "Hey, are you drunk yet?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't drunk at all." So he's like, "Let's go get you drunk." And we found this bottle on the counter. I don't remember what it was called, but it had the word Canada in it. It was like Canadian or Canada something. And I was like, shit, Six saw it. I pick up the bottle and I'm like, what are we doing? He's like, take a 5-second pull, turn up, get lit. So I was like, shit, bet. So I'm taking it, he's counting it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Might as well go for 7, 6, 7. Shit, we're here now. Go for 10, 8, 9, 10. I'll put the bottle down. Let's notice it wasn't 10 full seconds. It was more like 15 seconds because there were pauses between each second. And he paused between 9 and 10. But at the time, I'm not worried about that. I'm like, let's get lit. I'm lit now. We're lit, turning up. Let's go. The night carries on. I'm now drunk as hell, beyond all reason. And it's time to go. So everybody's like, all right, let's roll out. Like, such and such is driving. It's time to go. I get in the car and I'm like out of it. Like, I'm laying there just.
So this is your fiance? Yep.
Like, I'm out. I'm like done for. Down for the count. Everything's spinning. My eyes are closed. And the driver of the car is like, I want some fries. And my drunk ass, I'm in the back. I'm like, fries sound good. So we get to the McDonald's drive-thru. I'm like, get me a large fry. As I'm saying that, I'm feeling like super dizzy. I'm like, I feel like I'm about to throw up. This is where it gets good because I realize I have the most manners I've ever known that I've had. If that makes any type of sense. The driver of the car, she says, don't throw up in my car. Let me remind you, there are 5 people in the car. There's 2 in the front and passenger seat. There's 3 of us in the back seat, and I'm by the door. I then reply to her, and I say, I'd never do that. That's rude. As I proceed to open up the door in the McDonald's drive-thru and just proceed to throw up outside the car. Just like head out the car, just throwing up. Cars are driving around and honking. They're disgusted. I'm like, it's whatever. You'll live. And I shut the door back, and when I turn, there's fries being handed to me, and those fries felt amazing. We then move to being back at the dorm room because I don't know what happened in between any of that. Don't remember getting from McDonald's to the dorm, walking from the car to the building, swiping in and going upstairs. I don't remember any of that. Next thing I remember, I'm sitting on the bed over a trash can, just like throwing up every now and then. I think I've gotten all the throw up out. I proceed to lay back on my bed. Let me remind you, if you didn't already know this, there are about 10 other people in the room. That's probably a lot. There's probably about 5 other people in the room. There's somewhere between 5 to 10 people in the room. And 2 of them are like watching me to like make sure I'm not dying. So I lay back on the bed and somehow there's pizza on the floor and everybody's just eating it. I don't know. But as I'm laying on the bed, I proceed to start throwing up as I'm laying down. And it's like sitting right here in this area. And I'm like, oh, snaps. I could die from this. So I like fully fling my whole body forward over into the trash can and just start throwing up in the trash can again. And like in my mind, I'm like, who's supposed to be watching me? Because that could have been the end of me right there. As I'm throwing up, all of a sudden I see this blinding light and a tall figure standing in the doorway. And then it's just loud. So let me remind you, I'm drunk, I'm throwing up, my head hurts, my stomach hurts. There's people sitting on my floor eating pizza. I don't even know where the pizza came from. And there's all these people There's only 2 people that sleep in my room, and there's like 10 people, 7, 8. There's a lot of people in the room, and then there's this bright light and these loud people walking in. I start going off. I'm like, whoever just walked in this room needs to walk right back out. Like, and I'm like yelling this, like, and whoever was in the doorway just went silent. Everybody in the room just went silent. And I'm like, why are you still here? And it's just quiet. And then I'm like, at this point, this is the last straw, because if I have to get up from this trash can, somebody's gonna die today. I'm like sitting there, I'm like, you're still, like, y'all not gone yet. If I have to get up, it's gonna be bad for you. And then everybody else is in the room is like, you guys should just leave, you guys should just go, you just go. And I guess whoever it was got very offended, and they were really butthurt, but if all pork chops were perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs. Right. That night, I just remember saying, somebody save me a slice of pizza, and then I passed out on the bed. I wake up the next morning, I feel great. Turns out my roommate's girlfriend did save me pizza. I felt even better. And then we went and got brunch. And that is 2 times where I almost died. Cue the outro music. We don't have outro music. There's nothing. That's the end of the video.